By the orders of the Peaky Blinders, I absolutely am crazy about this Netflix series that I'm currently watching. I'm on season 5 right now, and there are a total of 6 seasons. So why I came to watch this show? Initially, I was a bit put off by this show where it was showing gangsterism and activities they didn't really gel with my values. But after watching one of Cillian Murphy's movies, I was very curious how he acted in this series. And it kept popping up on my Netflix recommendations that I decided that, hey, let me give this a chance. And after the first episode, I was completely hooked onto the show. And what made me interested in this show was Tommy Shelby's demeanor. He is the gangster head of the gang called Peaky Blinders. So Peaky Blinders is a gang of family members who control the whole city of Birmingham. So they are into all the illegal activities which many are not favorable of, and the police are really afraid of them. So this movie was set in the 1900s, right after World War I, where the men came back from the war and were tormented by the memories of what happened in the war. Tommy Shelby, the leader of the pack, in fact, he was actually not the eldest in the family, he was the second in the family, but he held on strong as a leader, a great leader within the team. I asked myself, why do these people love him? How did he manage to gain the loyalty and the respect of the family members? After watching 5 seasons, I realized there are 3 key things that's necessary for good leadership in any organization. The first thing is vision and mission. In the past, I never gave priority to mission and vision. I always thought, let's just do the job. Why is there a need to know the vision and mission? It's just a blank statement. But when I watched this show, I realized that the vision and mission was the key criteria to move the team forward. In the show, you would see Tommy Shelby calling family meetings over and over again. And in every family meeting, he always emphasized what's the agenda, what's the vision and mission. And it is always consistent that he wants to bring the family business from illegal to legal businesses. So they started to strategize their business by buying pubs, setting up pubs, and also into horse racing. And it was then that he bought his first horse for the horse racing. He brought this horse to be blessed by a witch in the city, where the whole entire event was watched by many people. And many people saw this and started to place bets on this horse. The horse started to win. So soon enough, people started to win a lot because this horse kept performing. And Arthur, the elder brother, questioned his leadership. Why are we in this business when we're losing money to the people? As organizers, people were winning bets against this winning horse. So Thomas tells him, the strategy is, let's have the people win in their bets for this horse. And when everybody has placed bets into the horse, time and time again, when everybody's in, that's the time the horse will lose. That's where we gain all the winnings. And that was the strategy. So if Thomas did not share this strategy with the family would not have supported his activities. In fact, it was the vision and the mission that helped promote or motivate the team members to support the cause. And you could see that the team were really supportive of Thomas. Thomas was a risk taker. He was always looking into new businesses. And there were times where his family members would not support the cause, would not support his strategies, would not support those risks. But somehow, Thomas was so persuasive. He kept re-emphasizing the mission and the vision, which is to go legal. He was always persistent, and the team trusted him fully. No matter what, they never betrayed him, especially his henchmen, Curly and Johnny. They were always for him. Thomas was also one of a leader that would shovel the shit with the people. There was a time in one of the seasons where he tasked his team to to dig a tunnel to get to the Russian treasury. They had to do it within the night itself. And because time was essence and the team needed more help, Thomas jumped right in and started to dig together with his team. That really shows that he was willing to roll up his sleeves and get dirty with his men. And that is a sign of great leadership, being able to do the job himself. In every family meeting, you could rely on Thomas' word. If he says he's going to do it, if he says he's going to grant you something, he always kept his word. And the whole team trusted him with their lives, no matter how dangerous the mission was. So that is why the mission and vision always comes first. When people know why they're doing what they're doing, people will give you the entire support to accomplish that. The number 2 reason why Thomas Shelby was successful in leading the team was because he was able to build a team with defined roles. Thomas Shelby, as you can see from the show, was the strategic thinker. He was the one devising all the strategies, what they want to achieve and how they were going to achieve it. Arthur was the chief enforcer. If things don't go right, if things need to be cleaned up, if people do not follow the rules, if he wants to get somebody to do something, Arthur was always there. He was able to enforce things to keep going. Polly Gray was Thomas' aunt, and she was a main influencer in the team. You need a leader, you also need an influencer to support you, your main supporter. And for those who did not support Thomas, Polly will be there, finding a way around the people, getting them to give their full support. And these are the team members you really need on your team. The 4th person key to the team was Michael, Polly Gray's son. Michael was tasked to do all the legal activities, the bookkeeping for the company. And that was necessary to bring the company to legal levels, to legal businesses. As a leader, Thomas was really good at finding the strengths of his people, the weaknesses of his people. He knew who was good in what activities, and he assigned them only to do that. He assigned Arthur because he was aggressive, easily emotional, to do all the enforcement activities. And Michael, who was really good in accounts, really good with the books and numbers, to do all the bookkeeping for the company. And Polly was a good influencer in the way he knows how to talk people into doing things. And she was one of the key persons in the organization. And as a leader, in order to know the strengths of the team, you need to know the people well. Even the people that you meet for the first time. For example, Grace, that was to be his future first wife. When she came to the city of Birmingham, nobody knew her. But Tommy made the effort to send people to find out her background, where she worked in the past, what she did in the past, in order to understand her better. He always did his research to understand his enemies, his supporters, so he can know whether they are on his side or on the enemy's side. And this is crucial for you to know the background of your people. And you could see that he really cares for his team members, his family members, especially Ada. During the first few seasons, Ada left Birmingham to go to another city where nobody knew her. She disconnected from herself from the business, disconnected herself from the family. But Thomas never gave up on her. He cared so much for her and constantly visited her at her residence and even gave her a property to live in. He really took care of her. And he never gave up on her and continued to even support her until finally Ada gave in and came back into the business. So regular checkup and being close to your team members is really crucial to bring back the team together, to show your care, empathy to your team members. You never know, those who will go astray will come back to you to give you a stronger support ever before. Just like Ada Shelby. A reliable team is everything. You could see, together the family achieved everything. But when they were apart, they achieved nothing and people started to come in to attack them. This was when the family members were then sent for execution for murders. And the whole family was separated in different areas in the jail. And you could see Thomas did his very best to rescue them at the last minute. He was able to stop the execution and bring them back. But then after that, there was a lot of distress in the family, and the family separated in different ways. They stayed in different areas and they were not together. And it was this time that the other gangs started to come in to take opportunity to take over his place. So when they were apart, the team was not strong. But when they were together, it holds like a strong fort. So finally, he was able to convince the family to come back together, to build back a strong team. And for Thomas, apart from family, he also is able to build a reliable network with the Jewish people, and with that he was able to support his own agenda to fight against the Italian mafia. And you could see outside network is equally as important, and he was able to build that relationship despite the aggressiveness and the cunningness of the other gangsters. The third thing that makes Thomas Shelby a great leader was his ability to stay calm amid the crisis. Whenever there's terrible things that happen, when people die or people got kidnapped, you seldom see him go in a berserk mode. He's usually very calm and he will be very slow in his movements. You'll see that he'll be thinking, and that is really crucial during crisis, to stay calm and not go into emotional state. You can see that especially in Arthur, who is a very emotional person. Whenever somebody triggers him, he will go into fights and accidentally kills another person. Arthur is a very emotional person. That does not make him a really good leader. Thomas, the other hand, is a very calm person. Even when some crisis happens, initially any crisis will shock you. In fact, everyone will get shocked when there is a crisis. But the thing that sets you apart from the others is your ability to hold the fort, the ability to stay calm, because that is super necessary to be calm, to be able to make the right decisions. Right decisions are always driven by a clear mind. So if you look at Thomas, whenever there is a crisis happening, he doesn't get crazy, he doesn't get emotional. Usually, he becomes extra quiet. He will give you something called the death scare, maintaining eye contact for a long time, 3 to 5 seconds. Then he will move his eyes to the side. That composure that he held on actually helps him to calm himself down. And to others who look at him in this way psychologically feel that he's in control of himself, that he's not responsive to negativity, that he's able to make the right decisions. And that is crucial for a great leader. In times of conflict, he's able to command the attention, command the respect, and command the loyalty of his people and the people around him whenever there's a crisis. By staying calm, staying in control, giving the instructions after thinking for a while, not taking immediate actions, but really think through a strategy. When you're non-reactive, it shows that you're able to handle anything, everything, whatever is happening. That puts trust on you as a leader. Leaders, that you're able to achieve anything if you start it with your mind. Everything is controlled by your mind. All obstacles, all challenges. So every battle must first start from your mind. Then it comes to your mouth. And that's how I see a great leader should be. Number 1, have a vision and mission for your team. Number 2, build a team based on defined roles, based on the strengths of the people. Number 3, stay calm whenever there is a conflict. And if you have time, just watch the show and reflect on the leadership principles that Tommy Shelby has done, and you'll see what a great leader he was. I hope you enjoyed this sharing. If you have special requests for certain leadership questions, do put it down in the comments below. See you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.